Hello and welcome to TradeFlow Television,
bringing you valuable analysis and actionable intelligence
through the global commodity markets.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. China is dragging its feet in releasing new codes governing high-grade copper and aluminium scrap imports, leaving scrap metal firms abroad confused and without a clear way into their key market. Top metals consumer China has carried out an environmental campaign against foreign garbage in recent years, progressively restricting scrap inflows and planning a ban on all solid waste imports by the end of 2020. The State Administration for Market Regulation published new standards for recycled copper and aluminium in January after the metals industry successfully lobbied for high-grade scrap to be reclassified as a resource instead of waste, meaning it will not be affected by the ban. But only days before the new system is due to take effect on July 1, China has not released the customs codes for the materials, leaving foreign and Chinese firms abroad unable to send cargoes and denying China's manufacturing sector a key source of supply.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
OPEC has cut oil output in June by 1.25 million barrels per day (BPD) from May levels as it works to implement a supply restraint agreement with Russia and other allies, according to estimates from tanker tracking company Petrologistics. OPEC and its allies, a group known as OPEC+, agreed to cut supply by a record 9.7 million barrels of oil per day from May 1 to offset an oil price and demand slump triggered by the coronavirus crisis. OPEC's share of the cut is 6.084 million barrels of oil per day.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
Ukrainian wheat production could fall 7.2% to 26.25 million tons this year due to a lower planting area and significant damage in southern regions after a prolonged drought, French consultancy Agritel said on Monday. Agritel's crop estimate, which followed a June 15-19 field tour in Ukraine, is above a Reuters poll average of 25.4 million tons released on June 11, but close to Grain Traders Union UGA's forecast last week of 26.5 million tons.
Next we have agricultural price moves.
Chicago corn futures rose on Monday, consolidating above a six-week low touched last week, as investors awaited U.S. government acreage and stocks data to see if they would confirm an outlook of hefty supplies. Wheat also steadied after sliding last week on supply pressure from Northern Hemisphere harvests, with investors adjusting positions before the U.S. Department of Agriculture's crop estimates on Tuesday. The most active corn contract on the Chicago Board of Trade (CBOT) was up 1.2% at $3.20 and 3/4 a bushel by 11:26 GMT, having dropped last week to its lowest since May 12 at $3.15. CBOT wheat added 0.7% to $4.79 and 1/4 a bushel, and soybeans lost 0.1% to $8.64 and a half a bushel.
We will now take a look at energy price moves.
Oil prices edged higher on Monday, after bullish data from Asia and Europe, but sharp spikes in new coronavirus infections around the world tempered gains. Brent crude rose 30 cents, or 0.7%, to $41.32 a barrel by 15:12 GMT. U.S. crude rose 44 cents, or 1.1%, to $38.93 a barrel. The recovery of economic sentiment in the Eurozone intensified in June with improvements across all sectors, European Commission data showed on Monday. Overall sentiment rose to 75.7 points in June from 67.5 in May, though still short of expectations. In China, profits at industrial firms rose for the first time in 6 months in May, suggesting the country's economic recovery is gaining traction. But fears of a second wave of the pandemic are keeping prices from going higher. The death toll from COVID-19 surpassed 500,000 people on Sunday, according to a Reuters tally.
Moving on to metal price moves.
Supply disruption in top producer Chile, solid demand in top consumer China and dwindling stockpiles kept copper prices near 5-month highs on Monday. Benchmark copper on the London Metal Exchange was up 0.2% at $5,966.50 a ton in official trading, close to Friday's peak of $6,006. The metal, used in power and construction, has risen around 35% from a low in March, recouping almost all ground lost during the first stages of the coronavirus outbreak. Benchmark copper on the London Metal Exchange was up 0.2% at $5,966.50 a ton in official trading, close to Friday's peak of $6,006.
Finally, we have the most recent news on the financial market.
The dollar fell on Monday as stocks opened higher, indicating improving risk sentiment despite a rise in coronavirus cases. Investors have been weighing better economic data against a new uptick in COVID-19 infections. The global death toll from the virus reached 500,000 on Sunday, according to a Reuters tally. Cases surged in southern and western U.S. states, prompting California to order some bars to close in a rollback of efforts to reopen the economy. The dollar index was last down 0.21% at 97.27. Investors have been weighing better economic data against a new uptick in COVID-19 infections. The dollar index was last down 0.21% at 97.27. The euro gained 0.47% to $1.1270. That is all for today's news on the commodity market. Stay tuned to TradeFlow TV as we continue to provide you with more updates. You can also follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow TV1, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop.